and one of the most important elders in our community who have fought for education tirelessly throughout his whole life while he was in assembly, and he continues to fight even now. And we honor and respect that elder, and we give him the opportunity now to address us. Let's give a hand for former Deputy Chief Rev, Brother Hare. All right. Praise the Lord. This morning when I got up, I read our Father's devotions that our church did, and the theme of today's devotion was, "Today, God can handle it." I thought that was awesome. Today, God can handle it. The Lord is the one who will go before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not be afraid or discouraged. That's from Deuteronomy 31:8. This is a very difficult time in our lives, in one of our darkest moments and periods. But God offers us strength and courage if we turn our hearts and our prayers to Him. Those of us who are believers have every reason to live courageously. After all, the ultimate has already been fought and won on the cross at Calvary. We must call on Him in this hour of great need to save our children, families, and communities. Therefore, we are suggesting that our churches come together in an ecumenical council and call for a day of prayer on a Saturday next month. And our children should come to a church with their families and pastors and elders and men and women in that church should lay their hands on them and pray for them. And then they should go out in the community and see the children and lay hands on them and their families in the community. So I hope that pastors and clergy of the body of Christ will come together. God is the only answer to this problem. Let's give another hand to our elders and give thanks for this wonderful contribution to where we are at today. As the Vice President of the District Parent Coordinating Council, we have called for this evaluation to be able to draw upon community support to back up what the District Parent Coordinating Council did. For those of you who wasn't there on May 3rd, the Buffalo Public School District Coordinating Council had the majority of our schools represented here that day, and we brought all of our elected officials, all of our state officials, everybody who was responsible for education in any kind of way. We brought them in one room at one time, and we began to talk to them and listen to them about what we are going to do to fix our broken education system. And after we listened intently, we asked questions to make sure we understood what their position was. It became clear to us, as the elected representative of all parents of the Buffalo Public School District, it became clear to us that there's no clear plan on how we turn this district around. And based on the fact that there was no clear plan, it made no sense for us as the parent leaders who are responsible for representing all parents. It made no sense for us to just go forward and send our children into a school system that we know is broke, that everybody knows is broke, that everybody knows don't work. And so we made a very, very hard choice because all of us love our children. All of us love a good quality education. So we made a very hard choice, and we said we have to have the courage and take the risk to interrupt
the way this system is operating. The system is broken, and if we continue to participate in the broke system, what we're doing is we're basically validating it. We say it's all right for us to have a system where our children have 75% dropout rate. It's all right to have a system where 30% of our kids are suspended at a time. It's all right. And what we decided to do, and this is not two people, this is not one or two people. This is a whole body of people that represents all students. We voted, with the exception of one school, and we voted to say we will stand together on May 16th, and we will have a day of prayer, protest, and change, and we will not send our children to school. So what we want to do first and foremost is thank all those parents who had the courage to participate. Who had the courage to participate in that change. Because we've heard, we had people call us from the schools, and we know that we had an incredible amount of support. We also called for those people who needed to go to school. Because this is not about kids not going to school. That's not what it's about. It's really about drawing attention to the fact that we're sending them to a system that we know is broken. We can do better than that. So the next thing we asked for is we said that this is not just a parent fight. This is a fight for our whole community. This is about making the city of Buffalo a better place for all the way. So we asked all of you to show up here downtown on the stairs of City Hall and to rally together to show our support for turning this system around. Let's give a hand for all the people. We know that this is not the time or place to go through all the problems that we have and all the things that we face. But we do want to say a couple of them. First and foremost, we all know here in Buffalo, we have a separate and unequal education system. We don't have an education system that ensures every one of our children get a quality education. We keep hearing the words that the education issue is the civil rights issue of the 21st century, but that's more than just words. Because the same fight that we were fighting 50 years ago about separate and unequal systems, that system is here in Buffalo today. It hasn't gone anywhere. The reality is we all know that if you were fortunate and your children go to City Honors, Tech, and Divinity, and McKinley, they all get a great education. They all have a wonderful graduation rate. So what we do is we take our brightest kids, our most talented kids, and we pull them out, and we give them a different education than we give everybody else. And we're happy for them. But the bottom line is that that's not all the children in the community. Right? All the children in the community deserve a top quality education. If you go into the rural and suburban district, you don't see no criteria-based schools. You don't see us pulling out our smartest kid and our most talented children and sending them to a separate school. Because the reality is we know that when you go to those communities, your intention is to educate every child. So you have honors programs and honors programs in all schools. So why is it in Buffalo we accept a system that does not give every single child honors programs and all the best we have to offer? Because at the end of the day, the responsibility to make sure that happens falls on us as parents. So we have taken the responsibility on. We didn't come here today to blame anybody. We came here today to say, listen, it's our children. Because the reality is, the people who have the money, the power, the influence, the means, they have already boycotted the Buffalo school system. The minute they get the money or the ability to do it, they take their money and resources and they go to where the best education systems are. And they leave us here with what's left, and then they have the audacity to say to us, go to school. You have to go to school because that's not the right thing to do. You're sending the wrong message to children. What message are you sending to children when you leave us and you go put your children in the best of schools and you leave us and not the best of schools? What message does that send? It clearly says that some kind of way all of us are not equal. All of us don't deserve a top quality education. And we as the parents disagree with that. We believe in more than believe. We know that our children are just as good as everybody's children walking around this planet. All right. And we are going to fight and work and organize to make sure our children get everything they deserve and nothing less. And so here we are today, at the beginning This is not the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of a direct action campaign. And for those of you who don't know, a direct action campaign is very organized. It ain't arbitrary. It's saying that we want to be at the negotiating table about what is going on with our children, and we will be. And we will organize and organize and organize until it's done. So let me wrap it up with these 2 points and then make it clear. Well, one other point. Buffalo in Western New York is the only school district in Western New York where the citizens of the city don't have the right to vote on their school budget. Think about what that means. That means that we spend almost $1 billion on public school education in Buffalo. Every year, we spend almost $1 billion. We have no power to vote on that budget. But if I go anywhere around Buffalo, every year, the school board comes with the budget to the citizens and say to the citizens, vote to support this budget or not. And so that means if they don't like what's going on, then the citizens have the right to stop the process. Why here in Buffalo should we spend $1 billion on education? And the citizen has no power to stop the process. We have to accept a broken system and can't do nothing about it. That's not fair, it's not right, and we're not going to continue saying it. So what we are doing now is starting to organize this process to make sure the rights that everybody else has, we have. The education that everybody else's children get, our children get. And we are not going to stop till we get there. We have a lot of people who have stepped up to support us in this process. And let me say this point about these people. We have a very clear goal. So in case somebody come here and try to change the word on what we are here for, our goal is very clear. We seek harmony. We seek a harmony with the Buffalo Teachers Federation, with the administration, with the Board of Education, with the State Education Department, with the state legislature. All those people, we seek to work in harmony to change the system that has failed our children year after year after year. So we've asked people who stood up to support us to come today and share with us how they're going to support us, why they're going to support us. One of the first people, when we were out here struggling to figure out how do we draw attention to the broke system, how we do something to change it, one of the first people who stepped up and said, count me in, was Pastor and the Council Member, Reverend Darius Pridgen. So let's give a hand to Reverend Pridgen.
I'm very brief because actually these are the workers and my colleagues on the council, especially the head of the education department or the education committee, Demone Smith, who actually brought much of this to my attention. Very brief. I am so excited today to be a resident in the city of Buffalo. Today is a day, and I'll give Nate this credit for this. This is not a celebration. Nate said to me, don't celebrate yet, folks. This is not a celebration. This is our agitation for activation. Do not change without agitation. And I know that there are some who have become comfortable, and they've become comfortable with 70% dropout rate. They've become comfortable with some children passing and other children not passing. They've become comfortable with a system that was fit to us by the state that requires every child to fit in one shoe. And the real fact of the matter is that all of our children are unique, and they need a unique education for every Once they have become comfortable, then it will take agitation to make change. And so that there are some people who are not comfortable going more to the graveyard than we are to graduation. Not comfortable at all with seeing our children die and not make it. And so today, we don't celebrate, we agitate. If we do not agitate, then those who have gone before us, I believe, will not be pleased with us. Stood on the buses and said we will no longer sit in the back, would not approve of our actions. Those who stayed out of school so that black, white, Asian, no matter who you were, can get a good education would not be pleased with us. So today I want you to think of one of your forefathers or foremothers that have gone before us, and at the count of three, in order to remember them in this day of agitation. 1, 2, 3.
And from a district parent coordinating council perspective, we acknowledge those people who have gone before us, the organized parents, and have helped us every step of the way. Brother Lloyd Hargrave is the person who has worked closely with the district parent coordinating council to make sure we were prepared to represent all parents, to make sure we were prepared to represent the students that we represent. So let's give a hand for Brother Lloyd Hargrave.
Yeah, right.
If I can go first, say a word to the skeptics and naysayers, and the critics.
I'm running out of time.
Not who. Not who, but who. Brother Sam has cautioned us to be very brief, and I will. But I will be brief by saying because of the efforts of those who chose to stand on the stage, because of the growing support evident by your presence here today, and because of the drive, determination, and dedication of parents and children, especially this parent coordinating council, I feel kind of comfortable right now to say to you that our children are getting to this brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter.
Yes, sun coming out.
And also, the District Parent Coordinating Council has one of our strongest members who has been part of this process. So how long have you been over this council? Almost 10 years he has been struggling with the District Parent Coordinating Council. Has been a significant part of everything. Let's get a hand for Ms. Kim Wallace.
Buffalo is going to increase opportunities. I'm a big proponent of special education, again, because every child has opportunities, diverse experiences, and you have to educate all students because you don't know which student is going to have the gift that's going to provide the next thing, the next creative invention, the thing that could change the world, the cure that's going to help us all. You don't know, so every child needs to have the benefit of proper education. You look at education for all in the community, and you put it together for immigrant families, for African-American families, for Asian families. That whole percentage comes to 50%, about. You really want to look at every child in Buffalo, and you flip a coin to say whether that child is going to graduate. That's not successful. That's not good for Buffalo. That's not good for any community. And that's why I'm involved in saying, parents, we're asking you to keep kids home today, but don't forget June 1st, we're asking for 100% every student. There are fully kids out. We're saying education is important, and all parents in this community have to be invested in education, have to give their kids the understanding that education, what you know, what you grow, it stays in your mind, and that's what you share. And it can never be taken away, and that's a gift. And everybody has to let the kids know that's a gift that you have to work towards, you have to fight for, and it is your right.
Without a question of doubt, one of the community organizations that have been there fighting with us every step of the way is the Community Action Organization, so we're going to introduce the CEO of the Community Action Organization, Mr. LSME.
Now listen, you've heard a lot of information. I want to help you understand why it's so critical for us to act right now. In 1991, I worked with Florence Johnson when she was running for the school board. In that time period, the district had a budget of $420 or so million. It had a teaching force of about 6,400 teachers. It had about 56,000 students. Well, today, the district has $900 million. It has only 3,500 teachers. It has only 35,000 students. So we have almost half the number of teachers, half the number of students. We're paying more than twice the amount of money, and we're getting less education now than we've ever got in the history of Buffalo. That cannot stand. It just cannot stand. We are fighting for the most fundamental right that every human being has in this society, and that is the right to be educated. We bring to somebody when you are an adult who is competent academically, socially, and vocationally who are 23, 24 years old. We have to make that happen for everybody. Because if we don't, we pay a price. And the price is that we see almost $40 million a year leave our city to put people in prison. That's the kind of money we got to pay to take care of them when they're in prison. We can't put our children in contact with each other because half the children are out of school, are in prison, that are just suspended from school. Our girls don't have boys to marry, and the girls may not be somebody who the boys want to marry. Let's not prove. We have a system that is defective. We know that when we had the best schools, we had neighborhood schools. The schools were a part of the neighborhood that they were in. But now the schools are outposts of somebody else in the middle of the community, have nothing to do with the people in the community that the school is in. How can a parent who has 3 or 4 kids going to 3 or 4 different schools, how can they be involved in every one of their kids' schools? How is that possible? Half of the parents don't even have cars. I used to have 3 or 4 buses to every single school, for every single child. That's just not going to occur. So we have to stop. There are structural things that we can change. I hear this whining about the parents aren't prepared. The parents don't know enough. The parents don't do enough. Well, guess what? That's the material that you got. That's who's here. Those are the kids that we got to take care of. So instead of whining about that, fix it. How do you fix it? You put the kids and the parents in the same neighborhood. You put after-school programs in every single school. Every kid, from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, all of them after-school program in their school. I'm going to close with this so you understand how serious this is. Between 8:30 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon, there is a seat for every single school-age child in the city of Buffalo. There's some place for you to go. Somebody who will after you, somebody who will educate you or supposed to educate you, some place for you to eat, some place for you to be. When 3 o'clock comes, only in Erie County, out of 31 school districts in Erie County, only one at 3 o'clock is closed to the children. And then where do the children go? To the community centers? We got 12 or 13 community centers at best that can fit about 3,000 kids. What happens to the other 32,000 kids? scaring the streets. Is it any wonder why the kids have street behavior? Is it any wonder why the kids are being pushed into socialized or socialized with street behavior? Is it any wonder why we see a lot of aberrant behavior amongst the children when we push them into the streets, unsupervised, with unsupervised people? That's just insane. So let's not stop doing that. Let's act like we understand what's going on here. Let's tell these people when you see
Shalom.
it's good, I'm saying we got to go back to neighborhood schools now. It's not tomorrow. We have to fight like our life depends on it because let's agitate, let's not celebrate. So
coming from all year long has been our education committee of the Common Council. So let's give a hand for Common Council member Demone Smith for his excellent leadership.
What a great day. These parents and community leaders gathered together to demand something. Things that we have to take advantage of ourselves. I can't sit there and say this is what Demone Smith wants. When I say this is what parents want, that's when it makes an impact. So give yourselves a round of applause. What we've been able to do in the Common Council Education Committee is bring in the different meetings and focus on one subject at a time. And there's a couple of things that we've been listening to, Mr. Brown, that people and the parents want to see. One, from the federal government, English language learners should not be tested, especially first and second year immigrants, as regular residents. That's a federal issue that needs to be changed. Locally, neighborhood schools need to be added. Just to cut the amount of money for buses. And if that money is used for not just busing, let's use it for after-school programs. We need to state and say, if you guys save money on these after-school programs, we will split that money with you to open up
I'll give you what you time machine.
Amen.
Get them right back in here. These don't think I work with me, work with stuff.
Yes. Also, state, we need help in negotiating some of these contracts.
Amen.
Because where's my coaches at? The coaches have to be certified teachers. We want them to be from the neighborhood. These coaches have been with these students from 7 years old. And then when they get to be about 14 years old, they're not being able to be employed to go into the school to teach these kids. And to get these kids to national championships. And they cannot be coached. What happens if you bring the coach in the school building? Do you think that affects behavior? Truancy officers. These come from the neighborhood. But we have this brother coming by the house saying, hey, what's going on?
That's right.
Somebody
That's right. Yeah.
These are things that we can change, that the neighborhood is demanding, that I demand.
Teachers
To know the neighbors.
Neighbors.
The community.
Power receives nothing without command. It never did, it never will. Frederick Douglass, keep up the fight. We got support all across the board. Everybody who's looking for solutions has stepped up and offered their opportunity to counter solutions. So we're going to begin to call individuals and organizations who have been positive to come and talk about things that they feel like will help move us forward. Let's give a hand.
Amen.